Look at you. You got your job. You're all happy. It's the best day ever. But don't mess it up. All right, let's talk about things you need to know for your first day on your IT job. You don't have to be the smartest, you don't have to be the best. If you got through the interview and you've made it to a first day, they like you enough to give you a shot. So don't F it up. Nobody's going to be reacting like this on your first day. All right, nobody's cheering for you. You're in the cog, you're a part of the machine, you're a wheel, you're a worker bee. Time to get to work. First things first, you should know the company's systems and access. Ask questions. Please ask questions. Hey, what email server do we use? What platform do we use for authentication? What ticketing system do we use? You have to know the tools, the platforms, and the applications that your company uses. What quick messaging service do we use? Do we use ancillary apps? Do we have methods and orders of operation as to how we should do things around here? How do we authenticate? Do we authenticate directly through a Microsoft Workspace or a Google Workspace, or do we have MFA going through like a SSO tool, like a Okta, or things like that? So please know or ask those things so that you won't look like an idiot on your first day. Next, security and compliance rules. Typically, well-established organizations, they have these things ready and they have documentation and they have trainings for you. Please pay attention to those. This can be really costly to you, so it's good to pay attention. So understand the company's policies and data security, password management, email usage, and device handling rules, because this sort of things can cost you a job. And if you're in IT, whether you are on the support side or the development side, people are still going to ask you to support. So the better you know how to use your tools, the better you'll be able to assist other individuals in utilizing theirs. Many companies have strict protocols around phishing, data storage, and handling sensitive information. Do not make mistakes because this could be costly, but ask questions. Ask questions, ask questions, ask questions. Do not assume that just because your past organization did things one way, that this one is going to do things the same way. Please ask questions. Support and escalation process. You need to know. So at some organizations, they'll have like a level 1, a level 2, a level 3, and then from there, it'll be management. Level 1 individuals will be more so help desk. They're the first line of defense. I actually think everyone should start help desk. Level 2 would be someone who's tier 2. They're more seasoned. They know a bit more things. They typically have like system administrative access to certain levels. And then a level 3 person would be someone who can build out systems, who can probably use a command line, who have global admins or super admin level access where they can solve problems. I think every level can solve problems, but a level 3 person would get a bit more creative in their problem solving, and they'll have a looser space in order to solve those problems. So you should know the SLAs. SLA stands for service level agreement, and the SLA allows for us to do things in an efficient way and to get the ticket on the proper person's desk. All right. Documentation and knowledge base. Do not come in as this guy thinking that you know everything, because you don't. And even if you do know how to operate certain systems, you don't know how this company or organization is operating the system. So, going back to my earlier point, please ask questions, okay? You need to understand there's nuance everywhere. So, one department may use like if Google Chat, and then another department may use Zoom for chat, and then the sales department may use Teams. And if organization is big enough, then you'll have these varieties. So please ask the proper questions, okay? Asking questions will get you further than knowing everything when you first come in. So get familiar with where documentation is stored. And in that documentation, it'll have information that'll let you know the nuances. And whenever you have time with senior level members ask specific questions based upon things that you've seen, which will then allow for you to get, that culture, that nuance, that very specific and precise information, which can help to resolve a task in the most effective way. Build a habit of always reading and contributing to documentation. This could make you very valuable. If you consistently are someone who produces documentation, then you are very valuable because we have a way of tracking who solves problems. Sometimes that comes in the way of ticket count, but sometimes it also comes in a way of who are creating solutions. And documentation is one way to show that you are the creator or the contributor in solution development. Culture and communication. So figure out how your department or your organization communicates. Going back to the earlier point, some individuals may use different communication tools based upon what's used to them. And sometimes you just can't control that because it was done before you arrived, or because a certain department would like to silo their information because they want their information to be louder. For instance, I've worked in organizations where we use Google as our workplace productivity tool, and the HR department used GChat. They were the only ones in the organization who used it. So whenever you would get a message in GChat, you knew exactly who it came from. I don't think this was a bad idea, but it was done before me, and it was done before the VP of HR came, so they just continued to use it. The rest of the organization use Slack, and Slack is a good communication tool. It's just that whenever you get that GChat, you knew that it was from HR. One big component to that is that if you work in IT, especially as you get to level 2, level 3 guys, you will work hand in hand with HR. Y'all almost bonded. You control the accounts, HR controls the employment. When someone gets employed, you have to create the accounts. When someone gets offboarded, you have to deactivate those accounts. So you guys work together to push the organization forward. Get good relationships with HR because it's very important. When you're considered for promotions, it has to go through them. When onboarding, offboarding happens, it has to go through them. HR is the place to be. I don't work in HR, but I work alongside of them so well that I just begin to develop the relationships. So pay attention to how the IT team interacts with end users and other departments is very important, because either they're going to interact over the phone, you can interact via email, you can interact via tools like a Screen Connect, which will allow for you to remotely access someone's computer, Splashtop. Different applications like this can allow for you to resolve a problem even in a remote setting, which is why a lot of IT individuals can work remote, and it's fine. So good IT isn't just your technical skills, it's also your communication skills, soft skills, professionalism, your patience. Talk to someone, be interested in their problem, be interested in solving their problem. Just because you see a problem 100 million times doesn't mean that that end user sees that same problem 100 million times. Be as efficient as you can when attempting to solve someone's problem, but also be as understanding as you can, because you may know a thing that does not mean that the end user know the same information. And vice versa. If you're working with someone in the sales department, they may know the product that your organization sells better than you. They just don't know the tools as well as you do, which is why we have to work together. A bonus tip is shadowing someone from your team is a very, 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 very good idea, because they'll let you know everything that's going on. They'll let you know what they see. Shadow someone who's positive, though. Do not shadow some negative Nancy who is tired of working at the organization and who got passed up for a promotion, so they're always down. Try to avoid that person, in my opinion. Shadow someone who's enthusiastic, someone who's consistently contributing someone who enjoys talking. You know, these little nuances, these little nitbits, these friendship skills that we learned when we were in kindergarten, they will really help. And they help because they allow for you to get close to those who are making change and who are interested in change throughout the organization. And when that person has special projects, they'll typically tap you in. In my experience, I went from being on the help desk, and I was only on the help desk for like 3 months because I consistently volunteered for extra projects. Um, those extra projects would be like teaching end users how to use mail merge, or extra projects would be, hey, does anyone want to do the onboarding presentations? All of these things allow for me to go from help desk to a systems admin in a matter of 3 months. And reason being is because I was genuinely interested, and I was genuinely interested in learning about the individual who made these decisions because I wanted to know how they rose in their career. And that individual taught me so much in a short amount of time. And my pure interest and the fact that I would go home and learn and train allowed for me to get better and better positions as my time went. Um, One thing you don't want to do is don't go into, well, it depends on the culture of the organization. But for me, I go into new organizations very clean cut. I want to show my best presentation. So don't go with the scruffy beard and the hair everywhere like your boy got going on right now, even with the little hoodie on. I don't do that on my first day. I want to go in with my best presentation. It's important to ask the organization, what's the culture? Like, are you guys hoodie and sweatshirts? Are you guys button up? Are you guys business casual? If you're business casual, I would dress even more dressy because I can dress it down. I can roll up my sleeves. I can take off my suit jacket. I can do things like that. I can wear some gym shoes to kind of, make it kind of casual a little bit. But it's better to be a bit overdressed in terms of, when I say over, I mean more formal than to be underdressed, meaning more casual, because you can just reconfigure what you have on, but you do want to make the best impression. That first impression is lasting. So I typically cut all of this off and I walk into the organization attempting to put my best foot forward, but also attempting to give my best presentation. So, with that being said, good luck. If you have any questions, hop down in them comments. Let me know what the questions are. And first day, don't make it your last day. Don't mess up. Thanks for being here. Don't be like my boy right here and be embarrassed. Go in there with your head held high. If you made it this far, that means you are good enough. Now it's up to you to get better. First day could be one of the best days of your life. Praying for you. Keep pushing. Peace out.